Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad. Assalamu alaikum. Dear community members, elders, sisters, friends, Assalamu alaikum. Thank you all for joining MBOLA's virtual community event. I hope you are safe during these challenging times. The Muslim Burial Organization of Los Angeles has been working very hard to assist the community during this pandemic. And we truly appreciate your commitment to our organization. I want to start by thanking Allah for His blessings on us. We will begin the program by inviting a young member of our community to conduct a recitation from Holy Quran, Muhammad Mehdi Merchant. He's 10 years old. He's in 6th grade. He goes to a full-time Islamic school, and he loves Stephen Carey. Let me invite Muhammad Mehdi Merchant.
Assalamu alaikum. I will be starting with reciting Surah An'am, Ayah 42 and Ayah 43, and Surah Tawabun, Ayah 11 with translation. I will be starting with reciting Surah An'am. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ولقد أرسلنا إلى أمم من قبلك فأخذناهم بالبأساء والضراء لعلهم يتضرعون فلولا إذ جاءهم بأسنا تضروا ولكن قست قلوبهم وزين لهم الشيطان ما كانوا يعملون. In the name of Allah, the most merciful, the most compassionate. And certainly we had already sent messengers to nations before you. Then we seized them with adversity, poverty, and hardships, so that they might humble themselves. So why did they not humble themselves when the suffering came to them? Instead, their hearts were hardened, and Shaitan made attractive their sinful acts, alluring and attractive for them. Surah Tawabun. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ما أصاب من مصيبة إلا بإذن الله ومن يؤمن بالله يهد قلبه والله بكل شيء عليم. In the name of Allah, the most merciful, the most compassionate. No disaster or calamity befalls, except by permission of Allah. And those who believe in Allah, He guides their hearts. And Allah has all the knowledge of everything. Sadaqallahu al-Aliyyul Azim. Salawat.
Next, we will have the translation of Dua Azam al-Bala by 8-year-old Ali Raza Farishta. Words fail to express my appreciation for Ali Raza, who has accomplished so much at his age. He is a fan of basketball as well. Ali Raza goes to a full-time Islamic school as well. His Dua Azam al-Bala, isn't it amazing that 1200 years ago, we have been taught this dua, which applies exactly in today's day and age. Ali Raza, please start.
Assalamu alaikum. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. O Allah, terrible was the calamity, and its evil consequences are visible. The covering has been removed. All hopes have been cut off. The earth has shrunk.
Thank you, Ali Raza.
The heavenly blessings have been withheld. You alone can help. We refer our grief and sorrow to you. We have full faith in you. in the time of distress, as well as in good fortune. O Allah, send blessings on Muhammad and on the children of Muhammad, whom we must obey, as per your command, through which we become aware of their rank and status. And let there be joy after sorrow for us, for their sake, right away, in the twinkle of an eye, more rapidly than that. O Muhammad, O Ali, O Ali, O Muhammad, give me enough, because both of you provide sufficiently. Help me, because both of you help and protect. O our Master, O the living Imam, help, help, help. Reach me, reach me, reach me. At once in this hour. Be quick, be quick, be quick. O the most merciful, for the sake of Muhammad and his pure children. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
And health, inshallah. So I'll outline the quick agenda for today's event. First, our chairman, Nisa Bande Ali, will outline what MBOLA is, who we are, what we do. After that, we'll give you a preview of what MBOLA is doing, what MBOLA has done to prepare for the COVID-19 pandemic. What are we doing to safeguard our volunteers as well as our family and friends around us during this difficult time? After that, we'll have a speech by Hujjatul Islam, Maulana Syed Ali Raza Rizvi Sahib. MashaAllah, one of the best speakers of our life. After Maulana's speech, inshallah, we'll have about 15 to 20 minutes of fundraising and an opportunity for our community members to acquire some graves. This is the core intent of today's event. Right after our fundraising and grave campaign, we'll inshallah have Maulana Sahib address questions, provide answers to things that are of importance and matter to most mu'mineen during this difficult time. After the question and answers, inshallah, we'll close with a dua, and that's the agenda for today's event, inshallah. So with that, I will invite our chairman, Brother Nisar Bande Ali, to give us an outline of what MBOLA is and what we do. Nisar.
Thank you, Atisham. Today, we have people in line in this virtual event from Florida, New York, New Jersey, Chicago, Houston, Dallas, and many other cities. We also have participation of the diverse Shia communities of LA, including our patrons from Afghan, Iraq, Iranian, and Lebanese communities. I welcome you all. I'm ready to introduce Maulana, but very briefly, I would like to give a brief synopsis of MBOLA. MBOLA is a non-profit organization established in 2000 work. Our work is completely volunteer-based. We have been volunteering following the for the task.
I think we may be having some technical difficulties. So what you're seeing on the screen right now is the number of burials MBOLA has conducted in the last few years. So you can see back in 2009, we had one burial at Wadi Salam. And then you can see 7, 8, 9, each year, it has been progressively growing. And that's a sign for our growing community as well as our aging community. Next slide, please. Nisar, are you back? So the few things that are important in terms of what MBOLA is doing, particularly in light of the current situation. So the first and foremost thing is that we are doing everything and we're following the guidelines of Ayatollah Syed Ali Sistani and other Maraya Taqlid of our present time to conduct ghusl and burial. That is the first and foremost, most important thing for us. The second thing we're doing in that order is that we are following the law of the land. Whatever rules, regulations, policies, orders that exist today, we are trying to follow every single one of them as best as we possibly can. The third order of priority for us is to listen to the advice of our health professionals. Depending on the situation, we seek guidance from our doctors and other health professionals, and we take action accordingly. In all of this, we are absolutely taking extreme precautions and making sure that we are safeguarding the health and safety of all our volunteers during the ghusl time, as well as while we are providing and giving kafan to the deceased. And then as the body is transported from the mortuary to the cemetery, all the way up until the deceased is buried in the ground. Throughout this process, we also have been making use and we have acquired PPE, which is personal protective equipment, again, to make sure that our volunteers are protected and their health is maintained. Ms. Lara, are you back?
Well, thank you, Etisham, for covering that. So basically, you went through all the items. Like we are following the guidelines of the marja of the time. We are following the law of the land. We are following the legal. We have a legal team that is monitoring the municipal, state, and federal guidelines. Also, like you said, we are adhering to the advice of the health professionals. We have Dr. Mohsen Ali. Thank you, Dr. Mohsen, if you're on the line, who has been helping us and guiding us through this. And also, we have a PPE kit available. One thing that I did want to mention, which I'm sorry because of this, I got disconnected. Can you display that how many burials we have done till date per year? Hassan, do you still have that slide? Thank you. So is it being displayed on? Okay, thank you very much. Thank you. Basically, we have acquired 2 grave sites, right? So we started monitoring this since 2009, and until today, we have an average of about 14 burials a year, but the number is increasing because, like yesterday, only our coordinator got 2 calls at 2 burials, one on Monday, one on Tuesday. And last week, we had 2 burials as well. So this year, we have had more people. It seems like more people have passed away. So number has increased tremendously. When I was mentioning about our medical team, the health professionals, in this day and age, right now, we are having difficulty getting the body released from the hospitals. That's where our medical director, Dr. Mohsen Ali, and other doctors, they come and help us to expedite it because we don't want the moment to be not buried. We try to minimize the amount of time. Secondly, one more thing that I definitely would like to bring to everybody's attention, that we are following the law of the land. Since the in COVID-19 situation, we are not allowed to have more than 10 people at the burial site. So whenever there's a moment passes away, we are only allowing the family and one MBOLA volunteer to be there. In one recent case, we even did a webcam at the request of the family. Also, we have also heard that in LA, when this was not followed, that community, every individual was fined $1,000 or was told that they will have to go 6-month jail. We don't want that in our community. We want to do it everything right. So we follow the law of the land. We're going to follow the guidelines of the marjah. We are going to follow the advice of the health professionals. But when there is ghusl needed, we will be using proper PPE. So Hassan, if you can show the community what is the PPE that we have already obtained. The first one, what you see on the screen is a KN95 masks. We have ordered these. We are getting that shipment, I think, by Monday or Tuesday. This is for the volunteers who will be going to perform ghusl moving forward. Next, what you see is a face shield. This one is back ordered, will be coming in May. Early May, we will be receiving it. Next. We have these long sleeves gloves, 18-inch, outside black, inside orange. We already have that in our possession. Next. Full white gown. We have ordered these as well. Next. Yellow gowns, we have already received them. This is the front. Let me show you the back. And then this is the full blue gown. So what we're gonna do is volunteers, when they go to perform ghusl, they're gonna first put the blue gown, then the yellow gown on top of that. They will have the full 18-inch gloves. They will have the face shield, and they will have the boots. So they have to be very much covered. And MBOLA is taking that initiative to protect our volunteers who are helping us with the ghusl. So that takes care of the PPE. I may not have time later. Before I introduce Allama Sahab, I want to thank all MBOLA volunteers, advocates, donors in particular. I want to thank one individual, Hassan Zahid, without whom today's event would not have been possible. Allah has blessed the community with a gem like you, Hassan. Thank you. God bless you and your family. Let me introduce Maulana. Some people just don't need any introduction. I was very blessed more recently, last Muharram, I was able to uh, go to Karachi and attend Maulana's majlis at Shah Khurasan. And I am a witness to this. If you want to have a place inside the Imam Barga, you have to be there 45 minutes before Maulana's speech. And I experienced that myself. So this speaks a lot that how much renowned of a scholar and alim he is, and how popular he is. Maulana had his early education in Birmingham, UK. He went for his higher studies to Qom and studied in Qom Seminary, and he graduated in 1998. He has written and translated several books. Maulana, MBOLA is humble. Thank you so much for accepting our invite. May I introduce to you, live from UK, Maulana Allama Ali Raza Rizvi Saab. Maulana Saab.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والعاقبة لأهل التقوى واليقين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين خاتم النبيين بالقاسم محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم آله الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين لا سيما بقية الله في الأرضين روحي وأرواح العالمين لتراب مقدمه الكبر واللعنة الدائمة على أعدائهم أجمعين الآن إلى قيام يوم الدين أما بعد السلام عليكم جميعا ورحمة الله. First of all, I would like to appreciate and thank the organizers and the brothers working in MBOLA. It is a great initiative. It is a service that Zaman is pleased with. It is a service that our community needs in every part of the world. Certain ritual obligations cannot be forsaken and cannot be sidelined. And among them is the final rituals of a person. When a person leaves this world, there are certain rituals. When a person is dying, their feet should be faced towards the Qibla. So when they die and the ruh comes out, they're facing Qibla. Secondly, when a person has left this world, they need to have proper Islamic rituals performed upon them, which are ghusl, kafan, hunut, and then they should have an Islamic burial service, which these brothers are providing. This is an obligation, and these brothers are doing this as a charity. They're not being paid for it. They're not making any money from it. This is a voluntary service, which is basically only cost that you incur. Now, according to all of us, and especially according to Adil Sistani and others, you have to have an Islamic cemetery and an Islamic burial. It is an obligation because of the traditions from the Holy Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam and Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam. And it is a must that everyone must have proper Islamic. So now all of those services are obligatory. Number two, the burial has to be, when a person is buried inside the grave, they have to be placed on their right hand side. So the grave is the head and feet. The head is on your right hand side and the feet on your left, you're facing the Qibla. Now, all of these rituals are obligatory. And people with the proper Islamic guidelines, these brothers I've known for over 10 years, probably 15 years, and I've seen them when I have visited LA, that they were performing this service even then. So it is a service, it is an obligation that we must all perform. Now, in current circumstances, before I go into the current circumstances, one of the things we all need to make sure that we have an Islamic burial. We all need to make sure that we have a grave. Now, many times we think that everyone else will do it, and in God forbid, many cases where people have not taken care of their funeral plans, and they have had all sorts of problems. Unfortunately, sometimes when we don't leave a will behind, or the children are not practicing, and anything, we die when we are away. So we should leave a will behind and also make sure that we have a proper structure in place for our burials. Now, in the current circumstances, at the moment, you're facing many issues where the death rate is high and the people dying of COVID-19 in America especially, and the rest of Europe, we are seeing serious problems. And the first thing when the COVID-19 started in Britain, the first thing that came to mind was, will there be, God forbid, a shortage of grape? And suddenly we started making sure we have proper services. So we have, alhamdulillah, many teams, but we needed to make sure that we have our cemeteries, which are Islamic and which are separate. Now, you may have in a large cemetery a section just for Muslims, and that's sufficient. So it has clean markings that says that this is a Muslim burial place, and that is sufficient, and that is very important. You cannot bury a Muslim with other people. So it has to be a Muslim burial. Now, with COVID-19 on a rise in many countries, there are already many problems arising in many cities in Europe because of the high Muslim death rate. Unfortunately, even in Britain, I think over 25%, probably over 35% of the death rate Muslim community, and we've had over 20 deaths. I don't have the exact figures now, but I have performed a few funerals of the COVID-19. So we have over 20 Shia mu'mineen who have lost their life because of COVID-19. The first doctor, GP, general practitioner in Britain to die from COVID-19 was a Shia doctor, Dr. Syed Habib Zaidi. I performed his funeral. So I'm saying that it is a time when we must reflect. In these difficult times, we must reflect, and we must make sure that we have proper arrangements in place. Not only just for this time, but this is a time for us to ponder that there should be a proper service in place. And one of the things that made me think, because you sometimes get your kafan and sometimes you think that, okay, when the time comes, inshallah, my family will take, care of everything. But sometimes you overlook some of these things. So it is extremely important to make sure that we leave behind a proper will and a proper plan for our burial. Now, these brothers are doing it. I want to say a few hadiths from the Holy Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam and Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam. One of the things that the Holy Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam has said, and I think Khomeini in his Tahrir al-Wasila has mentioned this, that one of the greatest things, one of the greatest rewarding actions is taking part in a funeral procession, in taking part in the ghusl, funeral rituals of a person. So the ghusl, the kafan, and the burial. And they were asked, why? Why is this one of the highest rewarding actions? They said, because Usually, when you do someone a favor, you expect something in return. You expect that this person will return my favor. But when you take part in a funeral procession, then you are sure that this person cannot return my favor. So we should take part in the ghusl and kafan and also in the burial. Now, in the current circumstances, there are certain international laws that have arrived now in Europe and in North America, and the rest of the countries are going to follow. In Iran, they're now following this, and many other countries, but I'm not sure if all the countries are following these. One of them is that the brothers have also pointed out PPE kit. Now, if a person dies, according to the fatwa of our Maharaj, especially Atul Sistani, Hazrat Atullah Sayyid Ali Hussein Sistani, and Adil Hamnai, have said that we have to make sure that the people performing the ghusl follow the procedures provided by the government and the law of the land, and also by the health authorities. Because without PPE kit, there is a risk to the people who may performing the ghusl and kafan. So they all have to make sure that when they're performing the ghusl and kafan, that they are protected. And alhamdulillah, these brothers have assured me that they have the proper PPE kit. And I've seen this, which we have also given as a guideline in this country as Majlis Ulama Shia Europe. I'm also the president of Majlis Ulama Shia Europe, and we have given this guideline to the community that they must have the PPE kit. So it's a personal protection equipment with a proper mask, a suit, proper gloves, because there is still a risk of contagion, the contagiousness from the disease while giving ghusl, especially because of the water may splash. Otherwise, because the person is not breathing, so there is less risk, but there's still okay. So it is an extremely important precaution that when a person is giving ghusl, that they must not catch it, because very clear fatwa from all of our marajid that God forbid, if a person has COVID-19, if they have the coronavirus, then they must follow all the precautions that they do not give it to another person. And if they are not taking the precautions and they get out and they give it to other people, then they are responsible for all the people who are inflicted with this illness. Third, and if a person dies, according to Atul Sistani, if a person dies because you gave them the coronavirus, then you are responsible for their death. So it is extremely important that we all follow precautions. So if a deceased person can give you the virus, then you have to follow all the precautions to make sure that you do not catch it from that person. And hence, PPE kit is an extremely important feature. Therefore, now these brothers have, alhamdulillah, followed the guidelines from the health authorities, and inshallah, following those. Now, the third part that I want to quickly get into, and inshallah, at the end, we will allow you to ask questions, so you can ask your questions, and then we'll be able to probably clarify many of those issues when we are answering the questions. One of the most important things to remember is that even when you die, you have a life after death. And just like a good neighbor and a bad neighbor can affect this life, even after death, a good and bad neighbor have an impact on you. So it is an extremely important feature that you have an Islamic cemetery and you have the proper Islamic burial, because a person who is, you may not be visited, but there are people continuously visiting the cemetery who are going to be reciting Fatiha and Quran for any of the people in that cemetery, and you will also be rewarded for it. So even if a person does not have family members who visit, but there are other mu'minin coming, it has an impact on the deceased in any of those graves in that cemetery. So it is extremely important that we do have our own cemeteries when people are visiting, when people are burying them. One of the other features is that Imam Ali Islam says when the people come to the cemetery and when they decide the ziyarat, this ziyarat is for Ahl Qubur. The person performing the ziyarat, for every letter that he recites, gets 50 hasanat, and every person in that cemetery are rewarded for this ziyarat of Ahl Qubur. So it is extremely important that we make sure that we are buried. Sometimes it is not in our control, God forbid, but most of the times it can be. We can leave a will behind, and we make sure that we place a funeral service, we acquire a funeral service, we buy a funeral service for the times for after our death, that everything is performed Islamically, and according to the teachings of the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and Ahl Bayt alayhi salatu wasalam. Now, one of the other aspects, very important aspects, is that about the funeral, I want to very quickly mention that people performing ghusl and kafan must not express what they see inside when they are performing the ghusl and kafan in the atmosphere, and they must follow all the guidelines from the Sharia. And the brothers that I know are, alhamdulillah, practicing brothers, and they are, alhamdulillah, people aware of the teachings of the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So it is extremely important that we have the respect that we want in our lifetimes. We have the same respect after our death, and that will only happen when we have people who we can trust, the people who we can we know that will follow all the procedures based on the Sharia guidelines when we leave this world, that all of those rituals are performed for us according to the teachings of Fiqh Ja'fari. Now, uh, during these difficult times, I think it is very important that we do realize that we have to do certain things for this time, our life, and we have to do things for the hereafter. And Alayhi Salam say that if you have missed any prayers and fasting, or you've missed your homes or missed your Hajj, then you leave a will behind and you make sure that all of those are performed for you. So you leave some wealth that people perform your prayers if there was some missing, or your fasting, or your Hajj, or any homes that you had not paid, or you at least leave behind some wealth that people perform the Quran for you, sadaqat, and some good wills. And one of the most important things is to make sure that you have an Islamic funeral. To have a long life, one must recite Quran as much as possible, to give sadaqah, and the best and the most important thing is to keep your ties with your family members to have a long life. But it is a reality of life that we all have to leave this world. And there are many other things, and one of the things that prolongs your life is Azadari of Imam Hussain alayhi salatu wasalam, that performs, that has a role in your long life. Because I don't want to be scaring you off talking about the cemetery and the graves, but I also want to talk about doing certain things that will inshallah prolong your life. Now, one of the things that prolongs your life is reciting salawat and istighfar. These two help you prolong your life. One of the other things that prolongs your life is being very respectful towards your parents and elderly members of your community and family members especially. And one of the things that Imam alayhi salam have emphasized that prolongs your life is also visitation of the cemetery, especially the holy shrines, the Ahlul Bayt alayhi salam, and cemeteries. Do visit the cemeteries quite often. It reminds you that this is where we will be. You know, our lives are very short. If you look at all the people that have died, most of them, they lived a short life, and the time for their death has been so long that they have left this world, and they rest in graves. Now they have, died for thousands of years, hundreds of years, and they only lived for less than 100 years. So it is extremely important that we have all of those things in place. Now, for the last 5 to 10 minutes, I think I do still have 10 minutes if you allow me. Can I continue for another 10 minutes? Okay. Now, I would suggest that it is extremely important, based on the traditions of the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and I'm Ahl Bayt alayhi salam. Imam Ali Naqi salam, the Holy Prophet had left a will that bury me in my house. Today, where his grave is, that was his house, and he had allocated the place of his grave, that he said, "This is the place, Ya Ali, bury me here." Imam Ali alayhi salatu wasalam also told Imam Hassan and Imam Hussain alayhi salam, he said to Imam Hassan and Mushtaba that take me to Wadi Salam, where Najaf is today, and he said, bury me in that place. And he pointed out to Imam Hassan and Mushtaba alayhi salam. Imam Hassan alayhi salam left a will that he wants to be buried next to his grandfather, to Imam Hussain alayhi salam. But if the people don't allow him to be buried next to the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, then he should be buried in Al-Baqi, Jannatul Baqi. So sometimes, many people are frightened that if I buy a grave, what if I die because of buying a grave? No, your life is prolonged if you place a funeral service for yourself. If you buy a grave, if you buy a kafan, it prolongs your life. It is one of the things that helps you live longer. And you have a plan, so it gives you the satisfaction. So the satisfaction also gives you a better life. Imam Hussain alayhi salam knew about Karbala, so he told the people of Bani Asad when he arrived in Karbala that these are the places of our burial. Likewise, Imam Sajjad alayhi salam left a will to Imam Baqir alayhi salam that I want to be buried next to my uncle, Imam Hassan alayhi salam. Imam Baqir alayhi salam also left a will to Imam Sadiq alayhi salam, I want to be buried next to my father. Imam Sadiq left a will to his son, Imam Musa Qadim alayhi salam. So all the Imams, and Imam Ali Naqi alayhi salam had prepared his own grave in his lifetime. Where he is buried today, he had his own grave properly ready, and he would do his amal and his ibadat in his own grave. Marhum Adullah Khoi, in early 70s, he had his grave prepared in Masjid al-Khadra, inside the haram of. Now today you don't have the access, so you have the access from outside of the haram of Imam Ali alayhi salam, but you have access to his grave from inside the haram. He had pointed that place out in his lifetime that I want to be buried here, and he had made a will to his sons and his students that I want to be buried in this place. And for around 20 years, he had his grave ready. 20 years before his death, he had the grave ready where he wanted to be buried. Likewise, many big ulama Maraj, like when he left a will that he wants to be buried in Behisht Zahra, for example, or many of the great ulama Maraj left a will behind that they want to be buried in certain places. So it is extremely important that we all leave behind a will and purchase at the places of our burial, or at least we make sure that we have proper Islamic burial and we have a service in place that gives us the satisfaction that we will have everything performed for us according to and based on the teachings of the Holy Prophet ﷺ and Ahlul Bayt alayhim salatu wasalam. Now, one other aspect that if inshallah the time allows me to complete, is visitation of Ziyarat Ahl Qubur. Now, every Laylatul Jummah, every night between Thursday and Friday, performing Fatiha, Quran, and giving out charity for your own marhumin is extremely important. And if you do it, then others will do it for you. So make sure that you teach your children that, we do all of these things whenever Thursday comes, or the evening comes, just before Maghrib or just after Maghrib, anytime from the Asr of Thursday till the Dhuhr of Friday, the Jummah prayer, there is, the best time to perform anything for your marhumin, especially salawat, especially Fatiha, Quran, any sadaqah that you can give in their name, any food that you can give in their name. So there are all of these recommendations that you should perform. In Ziyarat Ashura, we hear the sentence by Imam Sadiq alayhi salam, Allahumma rzuqni shafa'at al-Husaini yawm al-wurud. Oh Allah, give me the shafa'at of Imam Hussain alayhi salatu wasalam the day I enter, yawm al-wurud. So the Imam Islam said, where do I enter? So the day you enter your grave. So it is extremely important that you recite Ziyarat Ashura. If you can't, then at least this one sentence from Ziyarat Ashura. Allahumma rzuqni shafa'at al-Husaini yawm al-wurud. So Allah, give me or bless me with the shafa'at, which is intercession of Imam Hussain Islam, the day I enter my grave. In our graves, there are many recommendations that it should be, how it should be. It should be deep, as deep as the normal height of a person. And all of these recommendations and the kafan, or some are wajib, and there are musaf parts in kafan as well. You will only get to have all of those things if you have people who know the teachings of Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam. For example, having a kafan with Surah Yasin or Joshan Kabir, or I don't know, people reciting Yasin on your grave, or Surah Mulk on your grave, or Fatiha at least, and Ikhlas, and Anzalna, and Ayatul Kursi. All of these things are highly recommended, and we all need to make sure that we have proper burial. Now, in the final few minutes, I want to recommend certain amal, inshallah, and inshallah we will answer your questions at the end. What we want to make sure is that in whichever part of America you're living in, especially in Los Angeles, you need to make sure that you you acquire a small package of, a package that these brothers are offering, that you can actually pay monthly, or I don't know, quarterly or something like that, and that will ascertain that you have the Islamic burial. And sometimes, insurances and a will is very important. Now, I want to give certain recommendations. Aim alayhi salam have said that when in grave, you will be saved from the punishment if you perform certain things. Number one, there are certain punishments, for example, the squeezing of the grave that we hear about. So if you are always clean, you keep yourself clean and taharat, then inshallah you will not have the squeezing of the grave. And secondly, you need to make sure that you don't do ghibah. So these are the things that inshallah help. Now, one of the things that helps in the hereafter is recitation of Surah Mulk. The Holy Prophet ﷺ has so many hadiths on this. Ahlul Bayt ﷺ have emphasized that do leave a will behind, or ask someone to recite Surah Mulk on your grave. Once a person dies, Surah Mulk should be recited on the grave of a person. One of the best things to recite for a deceased person is Surah Fatiha, of course, and Surah Ikhlas. 2/3 of Quran is given as thawab to the person who recites Surah Fatiha, and 1/3 of Quran for a person who recites Surah Ikhlas. And Surah Yasin. So if when a person is dying, one Surah Yasin, which is equal to finishing the Quran 12 times according to a hadith. And for the deceased, a person who's dying, to ease their death, one person must perform Surah Yasin, Surah Safat, and Ayatul Kursi as much as you can. And if a person has left this world, and again, these things are highly recommended. And 7 times Surah Inna Anzalna on the grave. So when you go to the cemetery, placing your hands and leaving marks behind on the grave, so long as those marks remain, the person will not be punished. So it is highly recommended that you leave a will behind for the mu'mineen to perform your rituals in line with the teachings of Muhammad and Ali Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam. I do know that I wanted to keep it short, and I would like to answer the questions, and I'll give more time to the people who have questions on any of these topics. But I would highly recommend that everyone, people listening in New Jersey, in Chicago, the brother has named so many cities who have registered, that all mu'mineen in Europe and in America and wherever they are, they should have a will in place, and also they should have a plan for their funeral. And what better than having a grave in a mu'min graveyard? Muslim graveyard is wajib, and mu'min graveyard is even better. Wa akhiru da'wana and alhamdulillah rabbil alameen. I pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that all of these brothers who are taking the trouble of providing the service to the community in LA, in the name of MBOLA, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala increase in the tawfiqat, and all the brothers who are helping them in any way. I don't know the names of all the brothers, but may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give them all a long life, and may Allah accept this service that they are providing to the community, to the Shia community. I'm sure that Imam Zaman al-Islam is pleased with you, because you are doing a service to the Shias of the Imam of our time. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Maulana Jazakumullah khair. Hassan, are we back? Okay. So, mashallah, Maulana, may Allah increase your knowledge and your tawfiqat, and continue His blessings on you and your entire family, inshallah. So, brothers and sisters, we inshallah will have time for question and answers by Maulana Sahab. But before we give the microphone back to Maulana Sahab, we just want to bring back the focus of this event here, that we have a couple of goals, a few targets for today's event. We wanted to provide an opportunity for us to acquire 25 graves, and we also had a goal for ourselves to raise at least $5,000. Now, a quick clarification here is that, I don't know, Hassan, if you're displaying the tracker on the screen or not, but the tracker is off, or was off a little bit. One of the Momin was planning to donate $50, and by mistake, they donated $5,000. So with that, we're going to correct that tracker. So essentially what this means is that we are still looking for donations to try and reach our target. So as we move forward, I think all of you know that our first cemetery was Wadi Salam, and that cemetery had 300 graves in it. That cemetery effectively got sold out and all spoken for in just a matter of a couple of years. Right after that, we embarked on our second cemetery under the name of Wadi Hussein, aka Pomona Cemetery. In this Pomona Cemetery, we had a first phase, phase one, which included 250 grave plots. Every single one of those 250 grave plots have been sold out. Then we embarked on a phase two within the cemetery. And out of the phase two, we have 110 or so graves that have already been sold out. And we have about, we had about 140 sold out and about 110 remaining in that phase two. And as you can see, we are quickly depleting the inventory we have of available graves. And as you saw the slide that Nassar showed earlier, the pace at which we are growing, the pace at which our community is expanding, and the pace of burials, we need to secure additional space. For that, within the Wadi Hussein Cemetery, Pomona, we are embarking, inshallah, on securing phase three in that same cemetery. And that phase three is going to give us 253 additional graves. So that's what our intent today is, to try and put that request in front of our Momini and see if you can please come forward and secure a grave for yourself or for your loved ones. The price of grave is $3,400. Today, just as we are all gathered up here, we wanted to make it easy for everybody. So with that, we have instituted a payment plan also, 15 payments of $220 each. That certainly makes it a whole lot easier for people to acquire these graves. The first payment, even if you commit today, will not start until June 1st of this year. So please do go to the website, MBOLA.org/live, and you can click on the purchase button there to acquire a grave. You can also call our MBOLA coordinator's phone number, which is area code 323-49-MBOLA. 323-49-MBOLA. Maulana Sahib talked about it's impressive, mashallah, how many awesome references Maulana gave on the value, the need, and the sawab that is connected to the burials and the graves. One thing I want to remind ourselves is that there's no surprise that death is certainty. Even people who are non-believers, the atheists, they don't believe in anything, but they themselves also believe in death. That's about the only thing that they also have belief and faith in. So the question for us is that one day we're going to die. One day I'm going to die. Am I ready for it? Am I prepared for it? So that's a question that all of us have to answer for ourselves and for our loved ones. So please, once again, go to MBOLA.org/live and secure a grave for yourself and for your family members.
Tisham, may I add something?
Please.
So Mominin, basically this payment plan, $220 payment for 15 payments for 15 months won't go effective until 1st of June. Interestingly, in this day and age when lots of people are on furloughs or are not working, or they don't know what the future holds, but it is also a fact of life that the prices of graves have gone up tremendously. If you compare the price of grave because we are not making any profit, we are a non-profit organization, but other organizations and their sale price ranges from $4,800 to goes up to maybe dollars. What we try to do is when any moment passes away, we are always negotiating with the cemetery for a better price on the day of the burial. We are negotiating with the mortuary for a better price for the place where the washing is being conducted. But we do this when you are, whether you are buying graves from us or not. But you will be saving a lot of money. Recently, we had a brother Muhammad Akil, who passed away, and his family is very young family, right? But luckily, he had purchased a grave in Wadi Hussein, so the life became way more easier for his family. That's what we are saying. It's a payment plan. It's $220 a month, and for all those patrons who are there today and who have already purchased grave for themselves, one or two, may I ask you to please just go ahead and purchase on this payment plan as an extra grave, and you can always donate them back. I have had situations where people have come to me and they have put checks in my pocket, and they told me that they have so much trust in MBOLA. They want us to purchase a graves but and still sign in today. And if I were you, I would always listen to Etisham.
You're being too kind, sir. Uh, so again, inshallah, we will have time for some questions and answers. You can see the tracker on the screen. Our goal today is to have 25 graves spoken for and $5,000 in donation. Now, I'll go back to the good reminders Maulana provided for us earlier. All of us know there are plenty of hadiths on this topic as well. Quran itself is talking a lot about the day that we all pass away. And Quran is saying that those people, Quran considers those people to be ghafil, who do not prepare for their death. Just like that, Imam Jafar Sadiq, alayhi salam, Allahumma salli. Imam says, one who keeps a coffin at their home and just looks at that coffin is not considered ghafil. So realize, see how beautifully Imam is connecting it back to the Quran. Quran says people who don't prepare for their death are ghafil. Imam is saying one who just keeps a coffin at their home is not ghafil. So think about this thing, is that what's next after coffin? It's grave. So again, think about this thing for yourself. Think about your family. Think about your loved ones. The time that is most difficult for our families is the time when we pass away. You certainly want to do what you can to make it as easy for your family as you possibly can. And that's one of the things that I can do for my family to make sure that I have a grave available for the day and the time that I pass away. Back to what Nisa was saying about the cost of the graves. So earlier, when I first acquired my very first grave, just like most of the Mu'mineen at Wadi Salam, the price was $1,400. Today, the price is $3,400. And this price, just like everything else, is likely going to continue to go up. Just because the price of everything else and goes up, the price of graves will also be going up. We, as Nasab mentioned earlier, because we are a non-profit organization, everybody within our organization is a volunteer. We don't make any money off of the sale of the graves. So with that, we try to keep the prices as low as we possibly can. We recognize that these days times are tough, and that's the reason why we have this payment plan. 15 payments of only $220 a month. So I'm seeing the tracker, alhamdulillah, is moving. We are at about 40% to our goal. We'll take about maybe 5 or 8 more minutes or so, and then inshallah, we'll be going back to Maulana Sahib with some questions and answers and get more enlightened by Maulana Sahib's knowledge, inshallah. Something else I'll mention, just as folks are thinking about clicking that button and signing up for a grave, is that there's also a hadith from Imam Ali Raza, alayhi salam. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad. Imam says that there are 7 people who joke with themselves. I'll only mention 2 of them, perhaps things that are most relevant to our today's conversation. So Imam says one person who's ghafil, one person who jokes and kids himself, is one who does istighfar with his tongue, but does not feel remorse in his heart. The second person, Imam says, who is also joking with themselves, is one who remembers death, but does not prepare for it. So these are amazingly strong words, amazingly powerful words directly from the Imam. So think about this thing, think about the importance of getting prepared for that day, because that day is coming. I mean, that day is going to come. I have no idea if I'm going to live tomorrow or not. I might die in the next hour or two. So I have an obligation for my family and for myself to be prepared for that time. So again, look at this thing is that it's a very simple payment plan, 15 payments, $220 a month. You can go to the website. You can also call our number, 323-49 MBOLA, and we are ready to help you. If you have any special needs, any unique situations, we are more than happy to work with you and accommodate those as well.
Tisham, may I add something?
Please, please.
So for Momineen, for these 2 grave sites that we have, what we do is every year on Shab-e Barat, except this last Shab-e Barat, because of this regulatory restrictions, we could not have any program. Otherwise, Shab-e Barat, we have simultaneous programs at both the locations, and we recite all the du'as that are recommended for that night. So marhumin who are buried there, so we are only going to these 2 grave sites that are MBOLA grave sites, right? I mean, we would love to go to others, but because of the time constraint, we can only cover 2. We always have a majlis on Shab-e Ashur at both of these locations, which is, Day of Ashur. So when we have time between Asar and Sham-e Ghariba, Mominins just drive to these grave sites, and we have a short majlis and matam there. On top of that, every time when Mominin are visiting, and I'll tell you what I do. I go there and recite ziyarat very loudly, so that all the Mominin who are buried there, Allah gives them sawab, and they're all listening to the ziyarat of Aba Abdullah. And finally, one more thing I would like to say is that we also have an annual majlis around 28th Safar time, where we have a fairly large crowd at the cemetery, and then we have majlis matam. So this I don't want to use the word free, but this benefit is at the grave sites of MBOLA. These have been initiated by the volunteers of MBOLA. And of course, all of you have been part and parcel of this. You all have helped us. You have been our advocate. You have been our sponsors. You have been our donors. If you have already purchased a grave, come forward today. Purchase one more, and you can keep it. And if there's a need, we will approach you. And if you want, you can donate that, or you can just keep it with you. You know. But we are saying, come forward, work with MBOLA. Let's get this phase three purchased. We're trying to collect the down payment for phase 3. We have the first right of refusal. If we decide, if we cannot come up with the down payment, then we will lose that third phase of Wadi Hussein. And like Maulana said earlier, you want to be neighbors. You want to be neighbors with good neighbors, right? So you want to be neighbors with all the Mu'mineen and Muhibbi Ahl al-Bayt. So I see the tracker move from 10 to 12. So at the Sham, people are listening to you. So I'll hand it over to you now.
No, sir. People are listening to you and then to Maulana, mashallah. So Maulana is the one who has really. It's hard for us to speak after listening to what Maulana already talked about. But like Nisar said, if you look at the tracker, we are almost halfway to our goal. We, inshallah, will wrap it up in about 5 or 7 minutes or so because we do want to go to question and answers. And by the way, it's pretty late in the morning for Maulana Sahib as well, or late at night. Nisar mentioned, buying a grave for yourself or donating it to others as well. So something else to also think about is that there's also hadith from Imam Muhammad Baqir, alayhi salam, Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ajil farajahum. And Imam mentions that there are some people with whom their parents are unhappy. They are considered disobedient at times. Alhamdulillah, for those of us whose parents are alive, inshallah, we'll do our best to try and keep them happy. But those mu'mineen whose parent or both parents have passed away, there is an awesome opportunity for those people as well to try and do something good for their parents. So Imam says that even for people whose parents may have been unhappy with them, the same people after the passing away of their parents are written as if their parents are very happy with them and they are counted as among the obedient ones. How so? It's because after the parents have passed away, the children, the family has donated, done something good in the name of their parents. So that again is an opportunity for you to buy a grave. If you already have one for yourself and for your loved ones that are around you, that's great. You can also buy a grave and donate it in the name of your parents. So think about all these things. MashaAllah, what you can do for yourself, for your parents. Alhamdulillah, we are blessed. We're living, yes, times are a little bit difficult these days, but we are still very blessed to be living in these times. And most of us, alhamdulillah, are in fairly good shape for us to continue enjoying the bounties of life.
Tisham, may I add one more thing before you hand it over to Maulana?
Please.
One thing that I'm requesting Momineen, and I have read this and I've heard this from my parents, and I've also heard this from some ulama, that visiting the graves of your parents if they passed away is a tremendous sawab, and you want to do it people are lucky who have these graves in the vicinity where they live. And most importantly, if you have any hajat, and God forbid for those whose parents are alive, Allah give them very long life and keep them salamat. But for those of us whose parents have passed away, if you go to your mom's grave and recite 2 rakat namaz hajat, and you can confirm that with Maulana, you will be very blessed with that. So buying a grave in a Shia Qabristan, in a Shia grave site, all I see is all benefits. So in last 5 minutes, the tracker hasn't moved from 12. I would like Momineens to come forward. Let's come forward. Buy a grave. It's easy installment. You can buy it on your credit card. Your first payment won't be due. Won't be taken out of your credit, hit your credit card until 1st of June. Normally you have 20 to 25 days to pay, so it's almost halfway through June, 2 months from now. But the good thing is that you won't even know, and in fraction of time, you will be owner of a grave plot at a Shia Qabristan. At the Sham, I'll stop now.
Thank you, Nisar. I know we want to be true to the time also, and please, the tracker hasn't moved. I've got a book in front of me here, Tahzib Ali Muhammad, and I wasn't thinking about this thing, but this is an Urdu book, and that's okay with you, Nisar. I'll just read a quick 3-line sentence, hadith from here, for those Mu'mineen who understand Urdu. Is that okay, sir?
Of course.
So this is a hadith from Imam Muhammad Baqir alayhi salam. Imam says कि जो शख्स किसी मोमिन को कफन दे उसको इतना सवाब होगा गोया क़यामत तक उसकी पोशाक का ज़िम्मा लिया हो, और जो शख्स किसी मोमिन की कब्र खोदे उसे इतना सवाब होगा गोया इसने मरहूम को क़यामत तक रहने के लिए एक दिलपसंद मकान दे दिया. So back to what we were talking earlier, imagine you donating a grave for somebody and it's as if you have provided a best home for somebody till eternity. This is how powerful this thing is. For you to get a grave, if you already have fulfilled your needs, you can buy it for somebody else. And I always talk about this thing is that the money we have, it's going to go for sure. There is no question about this. It's your good deeds, good actions that will inshallah last forever. So please do step forward. We are running out of time here. We'll inshallah take maybe 2 more minutes and then we'll wrap it all up and give it back to Maulana Sahib for us to get enlightened by his response to the questions. So even after today, please reach out to us. You have the number. You can go to MBOLA.org. You can call our hotline 323-49 MBOLA anytime, and we are there to help you with anything you might need. And generally speaking, you give gifts to people who you love. This is the kind of gift that you can give to people who you love a lot, or people who you just love. Bad joke. But anyway, so really, it's really important for us to think about this thing for ourselves, for our families, as well as for our relatives around us. I'll inject one more hadith just for us to get a perspective on some of these things. Imam Raza alayhi salam, he says, Allah has mentioned 3 things that are connected with each other as if one is incomplete without the other. The first thing Imam mentions is namaz and zakat. It's if you don't pay zakat, it's as if your namaz is not accepted. The second thing Imam mentions is be thankful to Allah and be thankful and grateful to your parents. It's as if you are not thankful to your parents, you are not thankful to Allah. And then Imam also mentions that fear Allah and do Sila Rahim. As if you don't do Sila Rahim with others, it's as if you don't fear Allah. So Sila Rahim is about our relatives. That's a great opportunity for you to also do something for your relatives, for your brothers, sisters, uncles, aunts, you name it. Whether they're here, someplace else in the world, living or deceased, that is something you can do for them. So we'll end here because I think we're running out of time here. So please do think about this thing. The campaign is there for today, but the hotline and the MBOLA site is available for you 24/7. So please think about this thing. Step forward, buy a grave for yourself, for your family, as well as in the name of your relatives and your deceased. And please think about others who can't afford these kind of things. So you can do a great big help to buy and donate a grave for those people who may not be able to afford it for themselves. So with that, we'll inshallah turn over to Maulana Sahib for questions and answers. What we have done is we had reached out to Momineen earlier to see if they can send us some questions in advance. So we do have some questions, and what we had done was we had tried to sort through some of those questions which were most relevant to today's environment. So what I can do is I will read those questions, and Hassan will display those questions on the screen, and then inshallah we'll have Maulana provide us, enlighten us with the answers for those questions. If that's okay with you, Maulana, we can move forward. So the first question, and I'm going to just go in the order in which they came. If someone passes away and hospital does not release the body for a few days for some reason, what is the best thing family can do while waiting for his tadfeen, burial?
While the body is still waiting for burial, you can recite as much Quran as you can for them. You can still hold majalis. You can still do as much sadaqah on behalf of the deceased. Many people ask questions, why, well, a person is already dead, why do you do sadaqah? No. Even the problem that, we want to remove our problems by giving sadaqah, and the deceased also have problems. Sometimes we have done so many amal that we need to pay off for those by giving sadaqah, by helping other people. So even for the deceased, it is highly recommended that you give sadaqah. Highly, highly recommended that one gives sadaqah. Even for Laylatul Dafn, even on the night of burial, it is highly recommended that you give sadaqah on behalf of the deceased. So giving sadaqah is one of the most important things to recite the Quran. And also, as much as you can, recite salawat for them, because salawat is beneficial.
Thank you, Maulana. Thank you very much. Another question we have is, what is the proper way of handling ghusl or burial of a person who dies of an infectious disease?
It is important that we follow the guidelines given to us by the health authorities, which is having a proper PPE kit. And I think after this pandemic, it will become a normal practice that people actually give all the ghusls and kafans with some equipment. And hygiene will be the most important thing of this pandemic. So at the moment in Britain, the health authorities have told us that you should treat all funerals like you would treat COVID-19 patients. So that is with PPE kit, and I think it's very important.
Thank you, Maulana.
Ehtisham bhai, can you ask a follow-up question on that?
Sure.
Okay, so Maulana, you're saying every patient, every person who passes away would be considered as a COVID-19 patient?
Yes, I'm saying that you should follow the precautions, meaning wear the glove and have a mask at least. If the person was confirmed, and if the person did not have a test, then you don't know if they're coming from a hospital. Then all patients coming from the hospital, because there is such a high rate, especially in America and in many parts of Europe, because so many patients coming from the hospitals, they should all be treated as COVID-19 patients, because a lot of them have not had the test. So we don't know if they were COVID-19 or not, or had the symptoms, or if they did not have any symptoms, then you should be precautionary anyway.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Maulana. Thank you very much. There's another question that if the person is buried inside a coffin, what is the recommendation of adding dirt to the coffin, that is on the side of the body, underneath the body, or underneath their face?
Well, the recommendation is to give them a pillow. So basically some sort of clay under their right cheek. So when you place them on the ground, so you place some clay or some dust under their right cheek. That's sufficient. You don't have to place all inside the coffin, but whatever you can. The coffin itself goes away after a few months, and so the body is in dust, and so it's not wajib to place earth inside the coffin, so long as there is this mustahab that you have under the cheek, and some shafa as well, also again on the eyes and under the cheek as well.
Sure. Thank you, Maulana. Another question is, during the COVID-19 situation, not too many people can join the burials. Some people are concerned and believe it might reduce sawab for the deceased, since a lot of people can't join the actual burial. Can you please provide some reassurance to the family that this may not be the case?
Okay, so we have a hadith that if 40 mu'mineen attend the funeral and say, Allahumma inna la na'lamu minhu illa khaira, wa anta a'lamu bihi minna. Oh Allah, in the fifth takbir, before the fifth takbir, in namaz janazah and salatul janazah, you read, oh Allah, we know nothing from this disease except for good. So now, because of 40 mu'mineen giving witness, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgives the person. If 40 mu'mineen, arba'ina mu'mineen, cannot attend the funeral, then they should all sign the paper. So a person should go and get the signature on their kafan, a small part. Usually in Iran and Iraq, you can buy a small cloth that has 40 boxes. So you have 40 mu'mineen signing the paper or the cloth for kafan that says that I bear witness. For example, it says the shahadat, and you just signed it. Yes, I give witness for this person. He's a mu'min. Even if they can't sign the paper, then 40 mu'mineen should be made sure that they all in their houses pray Fatiha, pray for this disease, and repeat those words of namaz janazah that, oh Allah, I know nothing but good. There is a hadith that says that if 40 mu'mineen give that witness for a deceased mu'min, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to the angels that these mu'mineen are sinful and they have seen the sins of that deceased person. And yet still they say, as a good gesture, that, oh Allah, we know nothing except good from this disease, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgives that person.
Subhanallah. Subhanallah.
Ehtisham, may I add something to this?
Gigi, please.
Maulana, thank you for your response. So what we will do is we do have this one sheet of paper where we normally get the signatures of 40 mu'mineens. What I'll do is I'll get that uploaded on our website. And in future, maybe we can even have a system where it can be signed through DocuSign or something, and then it finally gets to the family that is going to the burial. Out of those 10 people only who can go, we will set up something like that. How does that sound, Ehtisham?
Very
Inshallah, we'll get that done. Thank you.
Thank you, Maulana. Here's another question that do we have to pray namaz ayat for COVID-19? Also, please let us know about meditation in Islam.
Okay, namaz ayat is wajib for 4 things: the sun eclipse, the moon eclipse, the earthquake, and for tornadoes that frighten most of the town, meaning 50% of the town or more people are frightened. That's when you do namaz ayat. But for diseases, there is no namaz ayat, but there are many du'as. For example, in Nima Shaban and other places, there are many, many du'as from Ahlul Bayt alayhi salam. And in these days, for example, Atul Asisani and other Maraji have recommended that we recite dua number 7 of Sahifa Sajjadiyah, and also Ziyarat Ashura. Atul Marhum Abdullah Mamqani and some of the other Maraji have recommended that we recite Ziyarat Ashura. Some Maraji have recommended that we recite Hadith Isa, Surah Yasin. So there are different du'as, and there are special du'as for Waba from Imam Sadiq alayhi salatu wassalam. So you recite those du'as which Waba, or Waba means pandemics or the illnesses that spread, that are contagious and that are killed. Those are called Waba in Arabic, and also Farsi in Urdu as well. So, but there is no namaz ayat. It is not wajib.
Thank you, Maulana. So there was a part B to that question also from the same person, and they were asking, can you please let us know about meditation in Islam?
Meditation. So a daily basis, if you can recite Ziyarat Ashura or Salawat, as much as you can recite Salawat, and also Istighfar. And there are many, many meditations, meaning when you have time alone, recite the dua of Imam Saddad alayhi salam. So there are many meditations that are recommended. And holding your strong will gives you the strength to fight the ill. It is extremely important that you have a strong will, and that you can develop through tawassul and salawat. It gives you strong will, and meditation is highly recommended. If you can recite Salamun Alami Rabbi Rahim, verse number 58 of Surah Yasin, 818 times 818, that would help.
Thank you, Maulana. So we have 2 more questions. One is talking about how do we balance our wajib kifai of doing ghusl or tadfeen with the wajib of maintaining our well-being and health due to the COVID situation. If the situation is dangerous, where there is a chance we can catch the virus, are we exempt from this wajib-e-kifai?
Our Maraji have said that if there is a chance of you catching this disease, if it is contagious, then the ghusl and kafan may not be wajib. But as we've explained, that with PPE kit, containing contagiousness go down very low, even after death, because you basically catch it from a living person through their breathing and everything. So the chances are very low from a deceased person, but because of the splash, that's why they recommend that you do wear a PPE kit, and then there is no chance or very little chance. But if you still feel that it may be contagious, then the ghusl is not wajib and tayammum is sufficient.
Thank you, Maulana. There's one more question, and here we're saying, being the follower of Ayatollah Sistani, are we allowed to use 50% of khums money to help people who are desperately in need financially at the time when the world is facing this pandemic?
Ayatollah Sistani has given ijaza for half of his khums, or Sahmi Sadat. He doesn't say that it is wajib to take permission, but for Sahmi Imam, half of it can be used to help the mu'mineen who are now the victims of either this illness, or they're victims because of this illness and because of this pandemic. They've lost their jobs, or if they don't have the means, then you can give half of the khums to these people who are without means now.
Thank you. Thank you, Maulana. Thank you very much. And once again, may Allah increase your knowledge and increase His blessings for you and for your family. Are there any additional words? Ji.
We have collected a donation of about $3,500. We need $1,550. I was going to request Maulana to ask community to come forward. It's only $1,500. We need 15 people coming up with $100. So before we wrap up this meeting, do you think I can request Maulana, please, humbly, if you can please ask the community, please?
Yes. All the people that are listening, can I suggest that any donation that you give for the graves, any donation that you are now giving, it is going to be used for a very good cause. And one of the greatest thawab and rewarding actions is helping the burial of any mu'min. And we've seen this as a problem in many countries. Number one. Number two, Imam Ali al-Islam in Nahj al-Balagha says that when you give in the way of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then give generously, because you give it to that person and that person carries it, but in the hereafter, you get the thawab. And the example that they have given, for example, if you're traveling together and a person says that, give me your luggage as much as you want, and as soon as we reach the destination, I will return everything you have given me in the luggage. The luggage will be with you when we reach the destination. You will give the person to carry as much as you can, because it is yours when you reach the destination. Nahj al-Balagha, Imam Ali al-Islam says that when you give in the way of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it is just like giving everything to that person. They carry it for you, but in the hereafter, it comes back to you, because it is your reward. So inshallah, all the people that are donating, they should not feel that we are giving it and then we lose. No, you're not losing it, you're getting it in the hereafter. Number three, whatever you give it according to the Holy Quran in this world, the Holy Quran says that it is like a seed that you place in the ground. It grows and then turns you 700 times as much as that seed, because that seed grows into a plant and then it has many, many more grains. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, this is only in this world, but I give you in the hereafter is a lot more. I can't remember what point it is, 4 or 5. But one of the other things, many people think that I will give when I'm in good times. Always remember, give in bad times, because you need the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala more in bad times. Many people think that I will only do good when I have a better financial position. A hadith said, no, give in your bad times, so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has more mercy, because there may be things we have done and that have caused all of this. Now, many of us think that, okay, when I have good times, then I will give. Now, can I give an example of that? When you're giving in the prayer of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and you think that I'm in bad situation, Amir al-Mu'minin Ibn al-Islam says, tasaddaq, tarazzaq. Give sadaqah in the way of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, give donations, give charity, and take down the risk from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives more to the ones who give in His way. When you're in bad times, always give more donation. People think that, oh, I should hold on to everything that I have because I'm in a bad situation. No, give more, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will return your original state to you, and you will come back to the position that you were in. So giving in the way of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not decrease. And how do I explain that? No one can understand the concept of barakat except for a mu'min. When you give in the way of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you think, okay, I had $100, I've given $10, I've given $50, I've got less money now. The barakat is that probably that $100 you would have used in a way that will not suffice you. But now that you've given 50 away, that 50 will be sufficient for you. Allah will give barakat in it. This concept of barakat only a mu'min understands. So the sufficiency comes because of the barakat Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala places in your wealth when you give away in His name. When you give away in His name, inshallah, that barakat is placed. So I urge all of the brothers and sisters that are listening that please give, donate, and the barakat from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will suffice you. That whatever you have, you will not be in need of others.
SubhanAllah. Well, just as you were talking, mashallah, a sister texted me for one grave, as well as $100 donation. She was not able to go to the website. So Hassan, if you can please capture that as well. And where are we at now, Hassan?
So we are at 17 graves, and we still need $600. So I think at the Sham, unless you have anything else, I think we need to wrap up.
I'll turn back to you, sir.
Thank you so much. Thank you for all the help. Maulana साहब बहुत ही दस्तबस्ता बहुत ही शुक्रिया अदा करते हैं. Thank you so much, all the help. आपका वक्त आपने निकाला, आपने हमारी कम्युनिटी को अपनी स्पीड से नवाजा. स्पेशली आपने एम्बोला को इतना टाइम दिया. बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया. अल्लाह ताला आपको लंबी उम्र दे, सलामत रखे, आपकी फैमिली को, आपको बहुत ही ज़्यादा जो है वो अल्लाह की ब्लेसिंग्स और भी दे माशाल्लाह. And it was truly an honor. Personally, मैं खुद अपनी तरफ से और अपनी एम्बोला टीम की तरफ से आपका शुक्रिया अदा करता हूँ. And before I wrap up, we'll have Dua Azam al-Bala by Saklan's son, Hassan and Farishta, in Arabic. We heard his brother at the beginning. So Hassan, I mean, if it's possible, I wouldn't mind playing that English translation one more time. But if you can, that's okay too. तमाम लोगों का शुक्रिया जिन्होंने ये प्रोग्राम को अटेंड किया. माजरत चाहते हैं कि थोड़ा सा लंबा हो गया. बहुत शुक्रिया. आप लोगों ने ग्रेव्स खरीदी, आप लोगों ने डोनेशन दिया. एम्बोला का हमेशा आप लोगों ने साथ दिया, और इसका शुक्रिया हम क्या अदा करें. ज़ाहिर मौला आपको ब्लेस कर रहे हैं, और फिर करीम के मानने वाले हैं, तो करीम तो अपना करम आप सब पे कर ही रहे हैं, और इंशाल्लाह और भी करेंगे. अल्लाह सब लोगों को सेहतयाब रखे, सलामत रखे, आपकी फैमिलीज़ को बहुत ज़्यादा प्रॉस्पर करे, और सबको सेहत दे, कामयाबी दे. Thank you very much. Take it over, Hassan. अच्छा, खुदा हाफिज़, शुक्रिया. दुआ आज़म बला हो गया, आखिरी है ये बिल्कुल.
अस्सलामु अलैकुम. बिस्मिल्लाहिर्रहमानिर्रहीम. इलाही आज़म al-bala wa bariha al-khafa wa inkashafa al-ghita وانقطع الرجاء وضاقت الأرض ومنعت السماء وأنت المستعان وإليك المشتكى وإليك المعول في الشدة والرخاء. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد أولي الأمر الذين فرضت علينا طاعتهم وعرفتنا بذلك منزلتهم
ففرج عنا بحقهم فرجا عاجلا غريبا كلمح البصر أو هو أقرب يا محمد يا علي يا علي يا محمد اكفياني فإنكما كافيا وانصراني فإنكما ناصرا يا مولانا يا صاحب الزمان الغوث 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 أدركني 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 الساعة 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 العجل 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 يا أرحم الراحمين بحق محمد وآله الطاهرين.
السلام عليكم. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. O Allah, terrible was the calamity, and its evil consequences are visible. The covering has been removed. All hopes have been cut off. The earth has shrunk. The heavenly blessings have been withheld. You alone can help. We refer our grief and sorrow to you. We have full faith in you. In the time of distress, as well as in good fortune. O Allah, send blessings on Muhammad and on the children of Muhammad, whom we must obey as per your command, through which we become aware of their rank and status. And let there be joy after sorrow for us. For their sake, right away, in the twinkle of an eye, more rapidly than that. O Muhammad, O Ali, O Ali, O Muhammad, give me enough, because both of you provide sufficiently. Help me, because both of you help and protect. O our Master, O the living Imam, help, help, help. Reach me, reach me, reach me. At once in this hour. Be quick, be quick, be quick. O the most merciful, for the sake of Muhammad and his pure children. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad.
ياسين والقرآن الحكيم إنك لمن المرسلين على صراط مستقيم تنزيل العزيز الرحيم لتنذر قوما ما أنذر آباؤهم فهم غافلون لقد حق القول على أكثرهم فهم لا يؤمنون إنا جعلنا في أعناقهم أغلالا فهي إلى الأذقان فهم مقمحون وجعلنا من بين أيديهم سدا ومن خلفهم سدا فأغشيناهم فهم لا يبصرون وسواء عليهم أأنذرتهم أم لم تنذرهم لا يؤمنون إنما تنذر من اتبع الذكر وخشي الرحمن بالغيب فبشره بمغفرة وأجر كريم إنا نحن نحيي الموتى ونكتب ما قدموا وآثارهم وكل شيء أحصيناه في إمام مبين واضرب لهم مثلا أصحاب القرية إذ جاءها المرسلون إذ أرسلنا إليهم 2 فكذبوهما فعززنا ب3 فقالوا إنا إليكم مرسلون قالوا ما أنتم إلا بشر مثلنا وما أنزل الرحمن من شيء إن أنتم إلا تكذبون قالوا ربنا يعلم إنا إليكم لمرسلون وما علينا إلا البلاغ المبين قالوا إنا تطيرنا بكم لئن لم تنتهوا لنرجمنكم وليمسنكم منا عذاب أليم قالوا طائركم معكم أئن ذكرتم بل أنتم قوم مسرفون وجاء من أقصى المدينة رجل يسعى قال يا قوم اتبعوا المرسلين اتبعوا من لا يسألكم أجرا وهم مهتدون وما لي لا أعبد الذي فطرني وإليه ترجعون أأتخذ من دونه آلهة إن يردني الرحمن بضر لا تغن عني شفاعتهم شيئا ولا ينقذون إني إذا لفي ضلال مبين إني آمنت بربكم فاسمعون قيل ادخل الجنة قال يا ليت قومي يعلمون بما غفر لي ربي وجعلني من المكرمين وما أنزلنا على قومه من بعده من جند من السماء وما كنا منزلين إن كانت إلا صيحة واحدة فإذا هم خامدون يا حسرة على العباد ما يأتيهم من رسول إلا كانوا به يستهزئون ألم يروا كم أهلكنا قبلهم من القرون أنهم إليهم لا يرجعون وإن كل لما جميع لدينا محضرون وآية لهم الأرض الميتة أحييناها وأخرجنا منها حبا فمنه يأكلون وجعلنا فيها جنات من نخيل وأعناب وفجرنا فيها من العيون ليأكلوا من ثمره وما عملته أيديهم أفلا يشكرون سبحان الذي خلق الأزواج كلها مما تنبت الأرض ومن أنفسهم ومما لا يعلمون وآية لهم الليل نسلخ منه النهار فإذا هم مظلمون والشمس تجري لمستقر لها ذلك تقدير العزيز العليم والقمر قدرناه منازل حتى عاد كالعرجون القديم لا الشمس ينبغي لها أن تدرك القمر ولا الليل سابق النهار وكل في فلك يسبحون وآية لهم أنا حملنا ذريتهم في الفلك المشحون وخلقنا لهم من مثله ما يركبون وإن نشأ نغرقهم فلا صريخ لهم ولا هم ينقذون إلا رحمة منا ومتاعا إلى حين وإذا قيل لهم اتقوا ما بين أيديكم وما خلفكم لعلكم ترحمون وما تأتيهم من آية من آيات ربهم إلا كانوا عنها معرضين وإذا قيل لهم أنفقوا مما رزقكم الله قال الذين كفروا للذين آمنوا أنطعم من لو يشاء الله أطعمه إن أنتم إلا في ضلال مبين ويقولون متى هذا الوعد إن كنتم صادقين ما ينظرون إلا صيحة واحدة تأخذهم وهم يخصمون فلا يستطيعون توصية ولا إلى أهلهم يرجعون ونفخ في الصور فإذا هم من الأجداث إلى ربهم ينسلون قالوا يا ويلنا من بعثنا من مرقدنا هذا ما وعد الرحمن وصدق المرسلون إن كانت إلا صيحة واحدة فإذا هم جميع لدينا محضرون فاليوم لا تظلم نفس شيئا ولا تجزون إلا ما كنتم تعملون إن أصحاب الجنة اليوم في شغل فاكهون هم وأزواجهم في ظلال على الأرائك متكئون لهم فيها فاكهة ولهم ما يدعون سلام قولا من رب رحيم وامتازوا اليوم أيها المجرمون ألم أعهد إليكم يا بني آدم ألا تعبدوا الشيطان ألم أعهد إليكم يا بني آدم ألا تعبدوا الشيطان إنه لكم عدو مبين وأن اعبدوني هذا صراط مستقيم ولقد أضل منكم جبلا كثيرا أفلم تكونوا تعقلون هذه جهنم التي كنتم توعدون اصلوها اليوم بما كنتم تكفرون اليوم نختم على أفواههم وتكلمنا أيديهم وتشهد أرجلهم بما كانوا يكسبون ولو نشاء لطمسنا على أعينهم فاستبقوا الصراط فأنى يبصرون ولو نشاء لمسخناهم على مكانتهم فما استطاعوا مضيا ولا يرجعون ومن نعمره ننكسه في الخلق أفلا يعقلون وما علمناه الشعر وما ينبغي له إن هو إلا ذكر وقرآن مبين لينذر من كان حيا ويحق القول على الكافرين أولم يروا أنا خلقنا لهم مما عملت أيدينا أنعاما فهم لها مالكون وذللناها لهم فمنها ركوبهم ومنها يأكلون ولهم فيها منافع ومشارب أفلا يشكرون واتخذوا من دون الله آلهة لعلهم ينصرون لا يستطيعون نصرهم وهم لهم جند محضرون فلا يحزنك قولهم إنا نعلم ما يسرون وما يعلنون أولم ير الإنسان أنا خلقناه من نطفة فإذا هو خصيم مبين وضرب لنا مثلا ونسي خلقه قال من يحيي العظام وهي رميم قل يحييها الذي أنشأها أول مرة وهو بكل خلق عليم الذي جعل لكم من الشجر الأخضر نارا فإذا أنتم منه توقدون أوليس الذي خلق السماوات والأرض بقادر على أن يخلق مثلهم بلى وهو الخلاق العليم إنما أمره إذا أراد شيئا أن يقول له كن فيكون فسبحان الذي بيده ملكوت كل شيء وإليه ترجعون
تبارك الذي بيده الملك وهو على كل شيء قدير الذي خلق الموت والحياة ليبلوكم أيكم أحسن عملا وهو العزيز الغفور الذي خلق 7 سماوات طباقا ما ترى في خلق الرحمن من تفاوت فارجع البصر هل ترى من فطور ثم ارجع البصر كرتين ينقلب إليك البصر خاسئا وهو حسير ولقد زينا السماء الدنيا بمصابيح وجعلناها رجوما للشياطين وأعتدنا لهم عذاب السعير وللذين كفروا بربهم عذاب جهنم وبئس المصير إذا ألقوا فيها سمعوا لها شهيقا وهي تفور تكاد تميز من الغيظ كلما ألقي فيها فوج سألهم خزنتها ألم يأتكم نذير قالوا بلى قد جاءنا نذير فكذبنا وقلنا ما نزل الله من شيء إن أنتم إلا في ضلال كبير وقالوا لو كنا نسمع أو نعقل ما كنا في أصحاب السعير فاعترفوا بذنبهم فسحقا لأصحاب السعير إن الذين يخشون ربهم بالغيب لهم مغفرة وأجر كبير وأسروا قولكم أو اجهروا به إنه عليم بذات الصدور ألا يعلم من خلق وهو اللطيف الخبير هو الذي جعل لكم الأرض ذلولا فامشوا في مناكبها وكلوا من رزقه وإليه النشور هو الذي جعل لكم الأرض ذلولا فامشوا في مناكبها وكلوا من رزقه وإليه النشور أأمنتم من في السماء أن يخسف بكم الأرض فإذا هي تمور أم أمنتم من في السماء أن يرسل عليكم حاصبا فستعلمون كيف نذير ولقد كذب الذين من قبلهم فكيف كان نكير أولم يروا إلى الطير فوقهم صافات ويقبضن ما يمسكهن إلا الرحمن إنه بكل شيء بصير أمن هذا الذي هو جند لكم ينصركم من دون الرحمن إن الكافرون إلا في غرور أمن هذا الذي يرزقكم إن أمسك رزقه بل لجوا في عتو ونفور أفمن يمشي مكبا على وجهه أهدى أمن يمشي سويا على صراط مستقيم قل هو الذي أنشأكم وجعل لكم السمع والأبصار والأفئدة قليلا ما تشكرون قل هو الذي ذرأكم في الأرض وإليه تحشرون ويقولون متى هذا الوعد إن كنتم صادقين قل إنما العلم عند الله وإنما أنا نذير مبين فلما رأوه زلفة سيئت وجوه الذين كفروا وقيل هذا الذي كنتم به تدعون قل أرأيتم إن أهلكني الله ومن معي أو رحمنا فمن يجير الكافرين من عذاب أليم قل هو الرحمن آمنا به وعليه توكلنا فستعلمون من هو في ضلال مبين قل أرأيتم إن أصبح ماؤكم غورا فمن يأتيكم بماء معين